Yeah, let's keep the conversation going. Popular, what is he? Podcaster, YouTube
Influencer,
influencer,
whatever you want to call him.
Mr. Meme, whatever you want to call him. Kevin Samuels just passed away
R.I.P.
last week. And it was a lot of like
Backlash,
people
negativity.
people happy that he passed away.
Toxicity.
A lot of certain people coming at him.
Yeah, I just I understand that he had some controversial takes, but like, how do y'all feel like he had like? What do you think his biggest impact was on like
I think,
society?
and I mean, I ain't like really. I know who he was and the stuff he did, but like, I just felt like people weren't really. People hate the truth. People can't handle the truth. So like, a lot of times
Say
when
it
he
again.
was, and I'm not saying he was always right in what he was saying or like necessarily how you go about it, but like, it's a couple times where I'd watch him like. The girls would explain their situation, what they doing, and the lifestyle that they want, and what they want from the guy. And it's like, yo, the thing, like he's not wrong at what when he would tell them like, you have 3 to 4 kids and you don't work, but you want a guy to come in and pretty much sweep you out your feet, take you and your kids, and put y'all in a castle and do everything for you. Yes, there's guys that's out there that are gonna do that, but
They stupid.
you have to realize that that's probably not gonna happen.
And
And that's all he was trying to pretty much say. But yeah, at times, yeah, he was a little, brash. But
I think the common misconception was that he only talked about women.
yeah,
that,
man, he
that
did
just
not.
would be the things that was like, I
Yes.
guess,
Viral.
viral. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I've seen a clip where he talked about a man and he was like, "How much do you weigh?" He was like,
Yeah, he asked him a lot of personal questions.
and he was like, "How much money do
Oh
you?"
yeah, he
Yeah, yes.
He was like, "I ain't no Ron, I ain't no
did-
Ron
just
Jeremy."
remember
But,
He did that more than once. But
that was actually
but
funny.
since
But
it's
see,
not
the-
what everybody wants to see, it didn't go viral. You know,
It
what I
was
mean?
like, wait a minute, what? He was
yeah,
like,
and he was like,
I mean,
you-
you know it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know if you got one.
he's
Wait,
like, if you have one, you have one.
I know I got one. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Anyway,
That's what Kevin
yeah,
Samuels said.
I think
That's what he said.
yeah, that is what he
Clear
said.
that up.
That's what he said.
But no, I think Kevin Samuels, just to go off what Malik was saying, there was so many videos that you could watch where he would ask regular questions to females about what they wanted, what they thought, and he noticed that, and it kind of showed like the mindset of some, not all, some females out there didn't really add up in terms of like he would ask a question, okay, what's your finances like? What are you doing? And like Malik said, oh, I got 2 kids. Oh, I'm dealing with my baby daddy, X, Y, and Z, all this stuff going on. But then they would say specifically they want a high value man, and they would say there's none left out there. And Kevin Samuels would say, well, you can't say there's none left out there. They're just not focusing on you.
You used goods. Or,
Yeah,
or your
and
damaged
yeah, he would
goods is
say,
what
yeah, he would say
Yeah.
they're used goods and stuff like that. And just to go off what Malik was saying, like some of the stuff, I really don't like the negativity that came out from a certain demographic of females and some males
They
that
just
I saw,
I-
that
how
were
can
like
you be-
happy
How
that
can
he
you
was
be happy
dead.
that anybody dies? I
Like
mean,
Vivica,
sure,
Vivica Fox, she came out as soon as he died, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I mean, some people want like, oh, karma's a B, and some people gonna get it how they give it out." I'm like,
Bro, if you watch the full
She-
clip, he's talking. First of all,
I didn't
they
like
are
that.
calling into his show.
Thank you.
It's not like he's
Thank you.
asking them to be. They call into his show, walking into what he
They
is.
want his advice.
They know what's gonna happen,
and they openly say like, "Oh, I watch you all the time. Oh, I see what you say." to
so
other
you
people."
know what he's about. It's not like it's a surprise. You know what I mean? Like, and then it's. I will say that he's real big on fat shaming, and I feel
Yeah,
like
the body shaming. Yeah,
I feel
was
like he could have went without that.
Yeah,
Because
if you want to be however you want to be, that's up to you. So I don't think,
that I feel like he
makes
could have went without. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I mean, it's he's telling people what they need to hear. I guess like.
He just was putting the.
He was putting things
He
into
was just putting
perspective.
things in reality.
The information that he got, he was like one of the first people who I mean, let me not say one of the first people. He was one of the people who got the most notoriety from like quantifying things like, okay, if you want a high value man, this is what it is a high value man looks like, or what you should be picturing. And then he would ask them like, do you think you qualify for that? And if they would say yes, he would say, okay. I mean, I don't know. He would consider himself high value, but he would say like,
He
"Yo,
himself was divorced twice, so I mean,
And then the whole thing with like him being homosexual and people saying like, oh, he didn't even go that way, so how can you give advice on stuff if you're like gay, you're not even straight. I just think the whole thing was like messed up. And then like I said, Vivica Fox pointed out how when he died he was with a female that, if I'm not mistaken, the reports were like he had just met her recently or something like that. So she was trying to make it seem like Vivica Fox was trying to make it seem like Kevin Samuels was living a double-edged, like he he was living a life that he was telling people was inadequate or insufficient, and I don't think that's true. I think, I mean, that's just me personally. I don't think Kevin Samuels was out here telling people one thing and then doing the complete opposite.
Nah, you wanna know what's funny? I think in one of his earlier videos, he said something about like he used to make videos about like, men's fashion, how to dress and tips.
Yeah. That's what he used to do.
Tips for men, but he said that type of stuff doesn't go viral. That doesn't get me clicks. But when I talk about like women and high value men, that's the type of stuff that goes value, and that's viral, and that's what people want to see. So I mean, that's how we ended up where we are. Like, I just think it's wild that it happened that way.
Yeah, I think Kevin Samuels, and then like I said, all the people that were happy that he was like that he passed, and happy that he wasn't able to. I mean, he's not. I just don't think it's fair for someone who's not here to defend himself, like to be like happy about that. I just didn't like that. I didn't think it was fair. No matter what he said to whoever, no matter whose feelings he hurt, whatever the case was, I just don't think that was fair. So, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. I think his impact on how society looks at relationships definitely is definitely there. I don't know how big it is, but people definitely do, in my opinion, consider certain things like, okay, things that they may not have considered before, or they may have turned a blind eye to it because they like the girl or like some type of infatuation. And Kevin Samuels was like, you could be all good looking, all that stuff, but if you broke, it's gonna be hard to support the lifestyle you want to live with your female if you don't have the money. Like, he would just say things that were kind of factual. You know what I mean?
I never heard the phrase "high value man" until him.
Yeah,
I never heard that phrase until.
Or I never thought about like what it could mean until he decided to like.
Yeah, I was just about to say like it's crazy because like even like do y'all know like when he really started doing all that?
I think he's been at it for a minute.
All right, so because it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Like I said, I wasn't watching a deep dive until like, I'd catch the viral moments or watch a clip here and there. But like, ever since I did hear of Kevin Samuels, like, and what he did, I would start seeing other little things kind of branch from people that was doing like. One example that I think of is the Fresh and Fit podcast. Where they have it. Granted, it's kind of a completely different style how they do it.
But
the way they just
you
have
can't say Kevin Samuels didn't influence them a little
that's
bit.
exactly that's the influence of Kevin Samuels. And then like Rashad said, just like certain lingo and just how about like, I just feel like his impact is going to be there in a sense to where it's like a lot of us now, a lot of it's a lot of men was probably like not so eager to be open about how they felt about like, oh well, the different type of women that like he was describing and going on. But it's like now, it's like, all right, well,
I'm glad you brought it up.
Also, women are also going to be open to the fact that like maybe I do need to.
Maybe they're going to think realistically.
Like, I need to be, bring myself back to reality and.
I'm glad you brought up the whole Fresh and Fit podcast. I had to look them up to make sure I knew that these was the right guys. Yeah. But like that, he opened the lane for like men to just
give their opinions on how.
Sit on podcast. I feel like that can be
on there too. That's actually crazy.
It's a good thing and a bad thing. Like, but I'm not a fan of the Fresh and Fit podcast.
No, don't get me wrong. Yeah, go ahead. I'm not bad.
Because like, if anybody that doesn't know, these are the guys that
they some dorks.
Who is this? Brittany Renner. They had Brittany Renner on there, and they were just like they were just bashing all women.
That's what I was gonna say. Like that. Granted, the way Kevin Samuels was doing it was way bad. Like if there's anybody that I say is probably doing it wrong, it's them guys. Like the way they do it is,
I'm like scared of hoes.
They just bring a bunch of girls onto the show, and then it's like they just get on there and they're like. Yeah, they just bash the crap out of it.
They complain. They complain that they don't get attention from women like them, and they blame it on them.
And it's their fault. And it's like, well, dude, if you didn't look like a thumb and a toe, like, maybe you could. Like, it's just like,
seat.
It's just like, dude, like good
dorks.
But yeah, it's like the way they go about it is wrong. And it's not. Granted, it goes to show that Kevin Samuels had some type of influence. Granted, that's maybe not necessarily more of a positive one, but it's an influence.
No, for sure. It definitely opened the lane for this because now men feel comfortable. Like not just Fresh and Fit. It's other podcasts out there that just that's not us.
They just got viral because of like how they do it, how they went about it. They in Miami and they just got a big table with like 10 different girls around the table, and they just saying wild, crazy stuff. So.
They just invite women on there, don't let them speak, cut them off, and just degrade their. I don't know, man. I'm not a fan of that. Like, but
they actually it was a couple girls on there that actually came up to them and put them in their places. Like, who was the one shorty? I think she was. Was it
Asian doll?
Yeah. It was
Asian
her,
doll?
yeah. She
I saw that clip,
She
too.
she because she had to comment on it. She was like, I really was about to like go out of character, but I just kept calm and really.
He was like, "This is my show. I mean, you on my show. I can, you know." He was
That's
trying.
what I hate when they
he was
always,
trying to.
like,
He was trying to set
Whenever
the
he be
table.
talking, like that shit kills me. Whenever he's talking and then like a girl tries to say something, or like let's say two girls is like having like let's say if y'all was doing something real quick and then me I try to like say something, the
Cut
boy
the
would
side
literally cut
conversation.
you off and be like, "Hey, don't speak. It's my show. You're gonna disrespect me here." And I'm like,
Yeah, you don't got. Come on.
you couldn't even hear what the
Yeah.
girls were saying. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't
yeah,
like
sure.
what are you tripping for? Like
But shout out to Kevin Samuels in the time span that he was doing his thing as a quote unquote dating guru, image consultant, whatever you want to call him.
That's a good
He,
one. Image
yeah,
consultant.
he his net worth is estimated, if you believe it or not, whether or not it's a reputable source. It was $4 million. So he did something right to get his net worth.
He was
up
making
to
all that
where-
money from his show, or did he do something else? Like,
I'm not sure. I mean, he definitely did give out advice early on. I know about like dressing and how men should wear certain things, colognes, things like that. So
that's what I was saying. I mean, he just had a appearance in Atlanta. I mean, I think the episode aired after he died, which I think was crazy. But like, I think that might have been the funniest episode of the season.
Yeah, that's for
You
sure.
know, like,
and
but-
Future put him in the last music video.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like,
So
The
and
Bad
Kevin
Guys
Samuel,
theme song.
best thing he ever said: if you getting money, you're her type.